beyond happy with the setup.
I know.
I love you. Love it. You guys can come over when we're not podcasting.
I know. I'd rather just hang here.
I was embarrassed. I thought we had kids stuff everywhere.
No, I love kid stuff being all that's so charming to me. And that little submarine, Alice had that when she was a little wee one.
Aww.
I guarantee you, if you came over to our house, you'd be like, "Oh, Meredith, this could be great. This could be easy to entertain. And let me just show you what to do."
Yeah.
And then you would.
But you don't even enjoy entertaining Meredith. So what do you want?
True. You get a little.
I just don't like being responsible.
It's a lot of work.
It's so much work, and also I'm so lazy. Like.
Well, also, Natasha,
I don't want to try.
Natasha has like a pathological relationship with aesthetics and hosting, all things house.
I love it.
Yeah.
Like I painted something the other day. I tried to repair something, and there was a slight discoloration.
I'll show you before you leave.
And Natasha, and I was like, okay.
I said, please don't do that. Please don't. I know what you're going to do, but don't do that.
Well, I say, okay, we'll hire a painter. But Natasha was like actually in a kind of anaphylactic shock, like a psychological. It's for real.
No, because Moshe's never. I used to paint rooms all the time. I would paint my dorm room. I would every house I've ever been in. Moshe's never painted before, so there was a crack in the wall. So he just thought he could stick the paint in and do one big stripe.
Right. I understand.
You get it.
I get it.
Well, you guys also have had a life in entertainment, right? It's like there's some part of you that feels like if I paint this, I'm a real person again. I'll become.
Oh my God! Yes. I mean, obviously, I've been an actress since I was 8 years old, but
that's what I mean.
yeah. So when
This story. Okay, go ahead.
what?
When she tried to be one with the people and work as a wait. How long did your waitress job last? How long did that last, Meredith?
I really wanted to have
You really wanted to.
So one summer I tried to be a waitress, but
Wait, as a psychological experiment or for income?
not for income.
She was in the Adventures of Natty Gann. She was
been a child star
balling.
since she was a teenager, for God's sake.
So it was just purely to like experiment with real. What did they call it?
She wanted to live like the common people.
The public.
She wanted to do what common people do.
I just thought, I'm not doing a movie. Like, I need to do something. I'm in college. Like, you have to have a job. So,
Did your coworkers know the context in which you had taken the job?
like, for fun?
Yeah.
I mean,
The mother of.
But again, so how long were you a waitress, Meredith? How long?
well, only 2 hours.
Oh my God.
She had a nervous breakdown.
Well, here's the problem. Wait, my mom came. I told my mom, I was so excited. I was like, can you just come? Because I'm going to be a waitress, and it will be so fun. So she came, and I told my boyfriend at the time, and I'm like, oh my God, I have like a real job. So come. And I was so excited, like, to be the waitress. And my mom was like, can I get the hamburger, but instead of fries, can I get a salad? I'm like, Mom, I don't know how to do that. So can you just, like, it was like a little, like a thing you had to
Also, you last 2 hours and your first customer is your mom.
Yeah.
And you can't fulfill the order.
She's like, and then my agent came in.
No, she's like, I don't know how to. I was like, I don't know how to do that. She's like, well, can I get fruit? I'm like, Mom, just get the fucking fries. I really don't know how to do that. And then I went to my boyfriend's table, who happened to bring.
You had multiple tables of guests.
Well, my
She's
mom.
like entertaining.
Yeah.
See, this is why I don't
Exactly.
like entertaining.
Yeah, that's why you don't want to throw a party to remind you too much of waitressing.
So I went to my boyfriend's table. He happened to bring my ex-boyfriend and his new girlfriend. There were 6 people at the table. And they took their order, and the girlfriend.
And the new girlfriend was being mean to you.
She wasn't being mean necessarily, but she was sort of like, "Can I get the thing, but with no mayonnaise?"
You're like, bitch, I'm not a waitress. Oh, I mean, okay, I guess.
And she wanted it with no mayonnaise. Long story short, I didn't know how to do it. It came with mayonnaise. You put mayonnaise on this. And then I was like, oh, I fucking hate this. And I was too
Then you
hard.
had a nervous breakdown, and you cried to the owner, and what was the solution?
She made me the Jell-O shot girl.
Oh my God, that's so funny.
And that was the best summer job.
And that was her job.
Amazing.
She cried herself into the Jell-O shot girl's job.
Not the first person to get that job from Tears, I would feel.
Exactly.
It's the best job. You get there at 7, you make the Jell-O shots, you put them in the refrigerator for 3 hours. You get to flirt with the bartender or whoever, as one does. Mm-hmm. And then the Jell-O shots are ready, and you walk around and you say,
and what was your little scam?
It wasn't a scam. It was just smart
Which was what?
to say, would you like a Jello shot? And if they said no, you're like, I'll do one if you do one. And then
That's nice.
and so then I got $2, but I made my own without alcohol.
She had her own little non-alcohol, so she could just go all
That's
night.
predatory behavior,
It is
actually.
very predatory.
Well, I totally relate. And when I was waitressing, yeah, that just sucked so hard.
Where did you
And-
waitress?
Well, I would always get fired from the food waitressing places. And then I remember finally someone was like, maybe you should just do drinks.
Right,
And that
see?
was way better.
Wow.
Well, you guys are entertainers. It's more of an entertainer's
Exactly.
job.
Right.
Yeah.
I wore a cat suit for 8 years.
Oh my God, you were cute.
Wow.
Was it like the Playboy Bunny Club but for cats?
It was like the whiskey bar, but they made you wear like
Oh, I remember.
yeah, and
yes.
Randy Gerber would take your picture in
Yes.
the hallway of the
What is
Paramount Hotel.
Oh my God.
Tell them about the time husbands revealing secrets of wives.
Okay.
Tell them about the time the soap star came in.
Oh, I really wanted to be an actress.
Like
and,
really wanted to be an actress.
And so this like soap opera star came in and like all the tables were reserved, but we just had to say that to everybody because like sometimes they would come in with George Clooney and you'd have to move anyone from any table.
Right.
So they were like, you have to go tell her the reserve policy, but then
Some actress from The Young and the Restless just came in.
yeah. And so I like
Natasha panicked.
and I kneeled down and I was like, can I please get you my headshot?
Oh, you're so cute.
And then she wasn't not she was offering a barter because
Then I was like, yeah, you don't need to, this table's reserved, but you guys
but
can
you can
sit
stay
here the
all
whole
night.
time.
You're good.
And then she was like, yeah, you can send it to this address. She actually seemed kind of concerned. And I think probably because she recognized the desperation and
But I bet she looked at you and was like, "Oh my God, that's me. I've been where she's been.
Right.
I gotta pay it forward."
right. It just goes to illustrate
I gotta pay it forward by pretending to do something with her headshot.
I just felt like so rudderless
Yeah.
most of my trying to be an actress.
I can't see it.
So
By the way, cut to the address that she sent it to. It's a Kmart. They're like, "Who's this headshot?" We just got.
Employee of the month.
It's like the lawn department at
They
Kmart.
needed-
Someone
they need-
send us her headshot.
They she's needed in a cat
suit. She's kind of hot.
Wow, we should call her.
They wanted a hot girl to put on the
On the tool calendar.
on the employee of the month.
Yeah.
Like they're like this. We have the ugliest girls up
Wow.
here. Find a hot girl. Tell her to send her hot headshot here. We'll put it up. Employee of the
Boom.
month.
There you
Bam.
go.
And suddenly it's
Wait.
a cool store. I just market. I just
Love
fix
it.
them.
Patton, what were your pre-comedy jobs?
Oh God, I had so many. My pre-comedy jobs were, and I bet one of you've done this, where the summer that I started comedy was the summer that I did 8 different jobs because it was between freshman and sophomore year of college, and that's that first summer where you go, I better decide what I'm doing because this is about to end and I'm going to be on my own. So I was training to be a paralegal. I was a party DJ on the weekends. I was covering sports for a local paper under a different name. I was like just all these different things. And then I started doing stand-up. But before that, prep cook, prep cook to pizza cook to waiter.
Nice.
Like
Was the prepping at the pizza place?
at the pizza place.
Oh, so you just chopped up some.
Just basically pre-made salad. So everything in that place was pre-made. The spaghetti was pre-made, and they would
didn't.
nuke it. we had to make it look. It was like Frank's Family Restaurant. Everything's being nuked in the back.
So you all were waited tables.
Have you?
I never
Never?
did. No, and my first acting job ever was on Whitney's show on what was it? The
it was called Whitney.
It was called Whitney.
And I got a
That's a good name for your.
if you're gonna be Whitney, it's a good name. And I got a job. I was a waiter, and I had one of those waiter smocks, and I was trying to tie the knot, and I didn't know how, and I was asking the other actors or the extras. I was like, "How do you do?" And they were like, "You don't know how to." They were so disgusted with me for not knowing that information.
You got city hands, boy. You've been counting money all your life. You're soft.
Yeah, that's why I wanted to be a waitress so that I knew for my next role
Get a little.
if I'm gonna practice.
Have you ever played a waitress?
No,
Oh my God.
Have you?
Never paid off.
Oh, for sure.
Okay.
a
Yeah,
waitress. I don't think I've ever played a waitress. I've played a trainer, which is shocking
Is it hard for you?
because I don't work out.
Wait, is that true? You seem like you.
I hate it.
I hate it.
She
too.
hates it too.
Basically, it's the same thing with hosting. I'm lazy. I don't want to host. I don't want to make the cheese plate. You make the cheese plate.
Right.
I don't want to work out. I just want to be happy.
Do you? That's interesting.
It's magical thinking.
Don't you find that like part of having a husband though, you have to kind of wait on them a little bit?
Well,
Actually,
your life this last month and a half has been.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
he broke his ankle and foot a month and a half
Ankle
ago.
and foot?
Ankle
Well,
and foot.
He broke
Oh,
his foot
no.
in 2 places and his ankle in 1 place.
Wait, I'm sure you've answered this so many times, but how?
Slipped off a curb.
Skateboarding with Tony
I
Hawk.
wish. I slipped off a curb at work, fell, cracked my ankle, and then like a month later, Tony Hawk broke his femur
Yes,
doing
this
a
part.
vertical, and then he DM'd me and said, "Hey, we're in the same boat, buddy." I'm like, "No, we're not. You went down like you did like some Indiana Jones stuff. I slipped like someone's aunt that just saw her first piercing, like, oh heavens, crack, like it was just the lamest thing. So bad.
Oh no.
Yeah, it was really
Well,
embarrassing.
there's layers to boats, Patton. Be soft on yourself. Like, there's like
Yeah.
there's where the first class, and then there's all the way down in steerage. Where that's where you were. You were
That's
like,
where I am.
yeah.
It's like I'm DiCaprio in Titanic,
That's
man.
right.
I'm down in the steerage, dancing with the Irish.
No, I told I had a physical therapist when I dislocated my shoulder in Hawaii, and I was like, "Do you see this a lot with people dislocating their shoulders from waves?" And he was like,
Were you drinking a Cosmopolitan while you were on the table?
Well, she does doctor's visits in character too.
Oh, okay.
And he goes, "Oh, you mean middle-aged injuries? Yeah, they happen."
Oh
No.
God.
Well, then we went to go try to have a child after that, and they started saying
No, but it's just
geriatric pregnancy. So she went from
No.
middle-aged. She went from middle-aged
Did they-
injury to geriatric
They
pregnancy.
said geriatric pregnancy.
That's what they call it.
after 35.
That's so.
Wow.
That is not a nice
You know,
term.
a 35-year-old woman
Yeah, no,
wizened.
I get it.
Well, what was it famously? Sally Fields was Tom Hanks's love interest in Punchline, and literally 5 years later, she played his mom in Forrest Gump.
Very funny.
Like that is how quickly
Whoa.
it was
Yeah.
crazy.
I'm ready to play your mom in a year.
Yeah,
I know. I get excited when people like want me to play a young mom.
yeah.
Because
Exactly.
I just saw Punchline. It's really good. It's separate. I loved it. I thought it was
I
so
made
fun.
Moshe watch it,
Did
'cause
you
he'd
hate
never
it?
seen
You
it.
hate it?
I just
hate it.
When it came out, I was doing stand up, and all of us loved how completely inaccurate it was.
It's so inaccurate.
The lockers where you go in for the open mic to change your clothes. Also, I never got better as a comedian until someone was in the audience doing this.
But it's also funny that every entertainment piece about stand-up ever has a person dropping the act and
Yep.
getting real. And no
getting
one's
real.
ever done that.
Never. And he says at the end,
No one's ever gotten real.
Yeah, they
No,
get
no, no.
real, but you just, I'm going to throw away everything and just be me.
well, especially when it's a comedy competition and there's that line where she's like, "Are you ready tonight?" He goes, "Yeah, I'm doing all new stuff." No one in a comedy competition does all new stuff. You do your A stuff and you try to win. And he has this crazy meltdown, and somehow it's oh my god.
Well, I think we'll both agree that it was realistic when Barry Sobel was the biggest comedy star in the club.
remember.
Exactly.
Come on.
I used to hang out with Barry back in the day.
He
I
was
wrote that.
he was the consultant on that movie.
I know.
and taught Tom Hanks how to
God.
be a stand-up.
What?
I swear to God.
Well, the other crazy thing is am I wrong that when you're on stage in the OR at the Comedy Store, it says Tom Hanks up there? Doesn't it say his name
It
somewhere?
says Michael Keaton. I think is who you're
I
thinking
think
of.
Tom Hanks' name is up there
It
somewhere.
might, you know what? It might be Michael Keaton was a stand-up.
I've
He
seen him
started as
stand-up.
stand-up. Maybe Tom was there because didn't no women? Because Punchline takes place in New York.
That's right.
Maybe
Yeah.
it just says Michael Keaton, and
I
I'm
think
getting
it's
those
you.
two
You think
confused.
they have similar? I see it.
Well, they're actors who aren't really stand-ups.
But he really was Michael Keaton.
Michael Keaton was a working stand-up for
Really?
years. Oh yeah.
Oh, he's so
he has
talented.
had the weirdest, most interesting path. He worked on Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood.
Really?
He was the panda.
Oh, wow.
And he would do like little skits and stuff. He worked on that show for years. He was out of Philadelphia, and then he moved to L.A. Started doing stand-up, and then kind of burst onto the scene out of nowhere in Night Shift. Like that
Wow.
made him.
And the whole time, by the way, he had an alter ego. Do you know that?
What?
He was Batman. the whole
No,
time.
it's called The Batman now.
But
No,
now it's the Batman.
But
It
he
is
was
the-
Batman. He wasn't the Batman.
Well, he was originally when Bob Kane first came out with Batman. It was in Detective Comics 27. It was in 1939. So Bob Kane, although they don't give Jerry Finger enough because he also co-created it, but said
If you're listening right now, just fast forward 20 minutes if you're not interested in Batman. And
Well,
we'll-
what's funny about this is I just did Comedy Death Ray podcast with Scott Ackerman. He always used to make fun of me because I
Comedy
would
Bang
say
Bang.
Comedy Bang Bang.
going
and,
old school.
whoa, you went really old school.
and I said I always would call it The Batman. And he goes, Natasha, now there's a movie out called The Batman. And I said, no, there's not. And he said, yes, there is. And now you're right.
You and I went at it on the Nikki Glazer show when we were talking. They were talking about the new Star Wars thing, and you were being all like, "Oh, boy, I don't even
can't
care."
take it.
And I was like, "Oh, I didn't know I was going to be on TV with the coolest person alive."
Well, thank
but
you.
although you kind of called it, so
Thank you.
well.
Wait, speaking of movies, before we get to our questions,
Yeah.
Moshe, can we talk about? Didn't Patton win a bunch of awards?
Oh
or something?
yeah,
Oh
you were
my
just
God.
in a lauded film.
Yes.
I was.
It's
I was
so
in a
good.
lauded film. We were both just weirdly enough at South by Southwest. I'm in a little movie that I produced as well.
Oh, cool.
Called "I Love My Dad." It won the
Grand Jury
Grand
Prize
Jury
for
Award
narrative.
and the Audience
the
Award.
audience.
Amazing.
Award.
Yeah.
That must feel so good to have produced it and have immediate feedback that it is good.
It's,
Yeah, it
I
felt
was so
really good.
worried.
Because
I was
was
worried it wasn't going to be. I was worried. I was worried.
Well,
and I went and I watched, and it's so good. And I was
It's
so
a
proud of
it is a
you.
very dicey subject. It's
Uh-huh.
a comedy where you're like, and one false step and this whole thing goes
Can
down
I
the
just-
crapper.
Just very quickly, it's based on a true story.
What happened to the
Like in real
director
life.
is a young actor, writer, director. This is his second film. He wrote it, he directed it, and
He
he
stars in
plays
it.
stars in it. I
But
play
it's-
He
his
plays your
dad.
son?
Plays my son.
Wow.
Well, he plays his dad more,
Yeah.
more like it.
I play his
the
dad.
kid, it's based on his real life,
Oh, boy.
and he has an estranged relationship with his father, and it was very upsetting. So he blocked his dad to set boundaries on Facebook, on from
All
the
social
Apple
media.
phone, all social media. And then the dad is like, "I want to be with my son. How am I going
I
to
want to
see him?"
keep tabs on him. What's he doing?
So
Yeah.
he catfishes him.
No,
Created
that's amazing.
A fake
Whoa.
Facebook profile of a hot girl that the son ended up falling in love with.
It's
like,
a whole
kind of
thing.
flirting.
Oh,
People
wow.
should see the
Insane.
movie.
Wow.
It's really
I
good.
love my dad.
I love my dad.
Have you heard of this trick it's been making the social media rounds on how the youth of today can save our parents' generation from the ills of Fox News? You go
How?
if you're like a young millennial or Gen Z person, you go to your parents' house and you go into the settings on their TV
Tell me
and
everything.
put parental blocking settings on Fox
What?
News, and your
Oh.
parent and these people will never be able to figure it out. So they're texting their kids like, "I can't watch Fox News anymore. I can't unlock this thing. Someone
Oh my
help
God,
me!"
please.
So it's the way to save America
you
using
kidding?
technology. No,
Do they
this is
show-
really.
Is there like a how-to online?
I'm sure.
'Cause-
Okay,
I'm gonna do that.
yeah, they have to make
Yeah,
a bridge for
you
us,
need some
right?
of that.
We need a Gen X bridge because we're like, well, we don't know how to block it, but we understand the concept.
Yes. I mean, there's stuff on our phones and iPad. I know this sounds like such a bad cliche, but our now almost 13-year-old daughter, but I think when she was 7 and 8, like, Alice, how do we? Oh, you need to unlock this, and like, it's all second nature to them.
Yeah,
You know.
they're
We
plugged
still
in.
haven't given our kid an iPad. She's
How-
4.
She's still
tiny.
She's still tanning leather. We told
She
her those
whittles.
are toys. Yeah, we said these are toys. You know, I whittled.
That's brilliant.
What was David Cross's bit about? I'm going to raise my kid Amish.
Yeah.
So the kids in the back are like, "Dad, can I come in and watch TV with you?" No, that you don't believe in that stuff. You're being raised Amish. So if you could go out and like grow my vegetables and stuff, because like
That's so
but the
funny
dad's
because
inside
that's
watching TV.
that's literally the reality of this. We were thinking about putting our kid into Waldorf schools.
Oh,
and,
yeah.
And in LA, I think in every Waldorf school, but in LA in particular, because so many people are in the entertainment industry, they don't allow tech. But you're also if it's a real Waldorf school, you're supposed to extend the ideology into your home life.
Oh.
And so there's real Waldorf families, and then there's like the bad boys of Waldorf, which is people that are like what David Cross is saying. They're basically like showing their kids stuff at home, but telling them to lie to their school.
Oh, no,
And then
no.
one kid will come.
Wow.
Oh, no lying.
One
no.
kid will come to the school and be like, "Have you heard about this Harry Potter?" And then all the kids are like,
But they told us that happens. That
totally.
there's like underground, like on the playground.
Oh my! It's like Rum Springer for the Amish.
"That's right."
I'm just picturing a couple of Waldorf parents sitting their kid down like, we heard that you went to a little texting party at a friend's house, and you all were
Looking at the
just
screen.
listen. If you want to experiment with emojis, it's fine. You have to do it here in the house.
Do it with us. Yes,
I don't
it's
want
safe.
you out. I don't want you sending a bunch of eggplants and then getting in trouble. Okay.
Yeah. When a man and a woman love technology very much, so often.
Wait, I have a question just because I know you have a daughter. Do you feel like with technology, do you feel like you have to limit her in any way or no?
At this age?
Yes.
Oh, absolutely.
Yes.
She doesn't have a phone, and
She has an iPad, and she had to because, when coronavirus hit and all the kids were home,
Right.
they don't get to see their friends. It was like you have to let her see.
Well,
You have
that's-
to let her.
and also
have
some of her
FaceTime
homework
with her
is
friends.
on her iPad now.
Yeah, no, that was
And
what
that-
we've been talking about. That
So
like
frustrating.
that so many kids. Obviously, your kid is in a good position in life, but so many kids that didn't have a lot of
Right.
family infrastructure just
Yeah.
got disappeared into
Video
digital
games on
world
YouTube
because
because
they couldn't go out and they
Right.
didn't.
Right.
Yeah. So
She doesn't play video games because
She plays Roblox.
well, like Roblox. But I'm
no,
talking about,
Roblox was the thing they cited.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that like some
Moshe.
kids spent. No, I'm not talking about your kid. I'm talking about all
they
the other
cited
kids.
Alice Oswalt playing.
Yeah.
We
No, but
read the article about
And
Alice.
this is the worst offender.
No, but-
young Alice Oswalt.
no, that some kids would lose their not. They just spent all of their free time playing.
Right.
They mentioned
Yeah.
Roblox
Well,
and
I'm just saying we don't have any.
I put guards on her thing, like
Yeah.
time limits and stuff.
that's what you put on the Fox News,
Yeah.
and then they
Right.
can't. They won't
I
be able
wanna
to
do
unlock
that.
it.
I
Yeah.
want to do that.
should
oh
do it.
boy, I could really use. that.
But I need to do that. I need to put like Twitter time limits on him.
I know it's so hard.
But the problem is
That was a bad question.
Patton is
I'm
smart
sorry.
and savvy enough to go online and go, how do I unlock
No,
the?
no, I don't think he'd be able
I'm
to
just saying,
figure it out.
two generations up, they're
Yeah.
fine.
He-
They're never
Oh
watching.
wait, this is the question I wanted to ask.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay, but also with our kids. Can you imagine them having as many jobs as we had? Because I feel like I baby my child so much, I cannot imagine her like mowing
Working so
lawns and
hard.
working hard.
I know.
I was. I
Yeah.
mean, look, I don't want to do the.
That's weird to
It's
think
not like
about.
I'm not saying that I grew up in the Dust Bowl, but the reason that I got a fake ID when I was 15, and the reason that I got it was so that I could get a job.
That's what I
Yeah,
mean.
wow.
That's
Me
why I got a
too.
fake ID, so I could get. I got my first two jobs were the prep cook, and then I had a like kind of a paper route.
You don't need you don't need to be a certain age to
But
be,
this
have
wasn't
a
like
paper
a.
route.
This was like
6-year-olds do paper
this
routes.
community newspaper that went to like businesses and stuff,
Oh, okay.
and that's how I would do it. So I literally got a fake ID so I could work. 'Cause
Wow.
Otherwise, there was no money coming in.
Right.
You were a paper
I
boy
had
too.
many paper routes.
Yeah.
Did you wear a little cap?
Isn't that cute? Can't you
Yep.
just imagine the two of them just rolling around? Meredith,
cute.
just you and me. Let's connect on this.
Meredith
That
doing
is
it for
adorable.
a character, me doing it to feed my family.
Wow. I know that Natasha's going to roll her eyes at this, but there is a graphic novel. It's a comic book by this guy Brian K. Vaughan. And it's called Paper Girls.
Oh, it's cool.
And it's friggin' brilliant.
I liked Ghost World.
Okay, then you'll love Paper Girls.
Okay.
That's cool. We should
All
get
right.
that.
Oh, okay. You're
All
gonna
right.
love it.
I'm gonna get
and
it.
it takes place in the 80s. It's exactly that, and it's all the 80s and 70s were all about benign, neglectful parenting.
Totally.
Like trying to be good parents,
Yes.
but just not
Not being
monitoring
there.
anything.
You think I'm
Yes.
gonna let my kid leave at 6 a.m. and just walk around LA by herself?
The amount of time I
throwing
spent
papers
with my circle of
Yeah.
friends exploring Oakland in the most dangerous ways possible. I had so much fun, and we came so close to death so many times.
My parents, during the height of the kids getting kidnapped, my mom was like, "Go out and do not come back until 6. You're not sitting in this house and watching TV. Go out." And she didn't know where we were. Nothing. Just get out there.
I was just talking with another parent about that. In our childhood, our parents couldn't get us to come home, and now he has teenagers, and he's like, I can't get them to leave the house.
Right.
It's so weird
Yeah,
and scary, and we got to get them out there.
All right. Well, why don't we
Waldorf.
take a call?
Okay,
Oh,
great.
let's take a call.
Let's take a call. We're gonna call Meredith
Wow.
Another Meredith.
in Virginia Beach.
I love the name Meredith.
What if it's her dark doppelganger?
Let's see.
She probably waits tables or something
she's
gross like that.
I'm the you that stayed with the waitress job, and now I'm in Virginia Beach with the.
Hi,
Right.
Meredith.
Hi.
Meredith,
Oh wait,
you're-
hold on. We want to hear.
Meredith,
her.
Let's
you're
hear her.
muted.
Oh,
No, not you.
No,
other
the other
Meredith.
Meredith.
Oh, this is
Oh.
going to be fun.
Oh no.
Wait, Meredith, Meredith from Meredith, who is not here in my house. Are you muted?
No, can you guys hear
hell
me?
yeah,
you
there
are.
you go. Hi,
There you are.
Meredith. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Good. It's me. It's Natasha Leggero and our friends Patton, Oswalt, and Meredith Salenger. Another Meredith, in fact.
Wow.
Oh, hello. I don't
hello.
really come across a lot of Meredith, so.
Nor have I.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
Meredith, what do you do for work?
I'm an actress.
No, not. Oh my God.
I'm probably not as amazing as being an actress.
Just say you're a waitress. That's what we want you to say.
Actually, I'm a food runner.
Oh, there we go.
Oh, there you
Boom.
go.
So kind of close.
The circle is complete. The circle is complete. Meredith, how can we help? What made you contact us today?
So I feel like me and my boyfriend kind of have different self-esteem levels, I guess you would say. I've been a gymnast my whole life, and I just recently graduated, so I'm no longer doing gymnastics, but I still like to exercise a lot, and so does my sister, who is also a retired gymnast. So we made a fitness account, and I don't really think he necessarily likes it a lot.
Got it.
But
Tell me what makes you think that? Why doesn't he like what makes you know he doesn't like it? Patton, do you have a question
Well,
already?
just when you say fitness account, you mean like a YouTube channel, like a you're teaching people fitness?
no, like an Instagram account where like you
Show off your butt kind of a
like-
thing?
I mean, that's kind of like what he thinks.
Okay, got it.
I
mean-
see.
Oh, he's
little bit.
okay.
He's jealous of the
He's
imagery.
territorial
Did he
about
tell
it.
you? Did he tell you he didn't like it?
He goes, no, like I'm very supportive of what you're doing, and I really like admire like your passion for it, but it's just like I guess he just doesn't necessarily like the things I wear, but like I try to, cover up. Like I wear big t-shirts, and I don't know.
Hold on,
I feel like
just for clarity though, Meredith, what you're saying is you kind of started the question saying that you guys have different energy levels and how to deal with that, but what you really want to know is like how do you keep your boyfriend from being jealous of stuff you're posting online? Is that kind of more the question?
a little bit, but he's not like jealous.
Oh yeah,
He's
no, he is, Meredith.
Yeah.
He fully
Right
is.
off, he's very jealous.
Making you feel like you have to cover up or any
That's
of
a
that.
little
like,
weird.
Like you, as long as you're not, doing anything
Is
wrong.
he into fitness? Is he a fitness guy, or what's his deal?
I've been honestly like trying to encourage it a lot because he's never really like I've been like exercising my whole life. Like it's just something that I enjoy doing. But as for him, he's just now kind of starting
He's
to
normal.
Yeah, basically. Like honestly, he reminds me
Like-
a lot of Moshe. Like
Wait,
he
well,
loves-
fuck you. I'm on your boyfriend's side now. You know what? Cover up a little bit.
yeah, he loves Apex Legends, and I'm like,
I exercise
video games.
and play video games.
So
I
this
do
is
both.
really about you judging him.
no, no, but it's just like I feel really good about myself, and he kind of feels a little bit not as confident. And
Got it.
About his body. Well, first of all, you should congratulate yourself because really knowing what you like and what brings you joy,
Yeah.
like knowing that you need to exercise, like I hate exercise and I think that must mean I don't need it or something. Like I need other things, but sometimes I want to know what I need for like my creative self to feel good. But I think it's very clear that you need to be physically active. It's just part of
Yeah.
you. Like I need to be mentally stimulated, like not that you don't, but I'm just saying like I can't.
Right, and I need to play 6 to 18 hours of Apex Legends a day just to feel alive.
But I'm just saying that's cool that you have that.
he's gotten better. Ever since he started college. He's gotten a lot better with the video games.
Got it. Meredith and other Meredith, a Meredith and Patton. What do you have any first blush thoughts about this situation?
I feel like you're feeling like you can't be your most authentic self around him because
Aye.
he is making you feel in some way that he doesn't approve of the kind of things you're doing or things you're wearing. And,
And then she's like, well, I don't actually approve of what you're doing either.
I don't know.
I don't know about
I don't know
that
if you're doing
because-
that, but bottom line just for you, you can't let somebody make you not be the person you are. That's not a supportive relationship. And if you're not doing anything like, webcams or whatever, you know what I'm saying? Like, clearly you're just being a gymnast girl. Right. So it's not a bad thing, and he shouldn't make you feel that way. You should be completely proud of yourself.
Well, I talk to him about it a lot, and it's mostly just like he makes like little comments about like normal stuff that people wear to the gym, like yoga pants and sports bras, and he goes, oh well, they're just making women's clothing sizes a lot smaller nowadays. And I'm just like,
what is he? What is he, like a church elder?
Yeah. Are you dating the Pepperidge Farm guy?
Listen, you can say to him, if you have a more conservative outlook on life, fashion wise and whatever, but when you comment like that and that's how I dress, it makes me feel like you're being disapproving of what I'm doing.
Hell
and
yeah.
Could you not say those things?
yeah, I tell him that. I'm like, it kind of makes me feel like you're targeting me and the way I look rather than the clothes I'm wearing.
He is targeting you. He's just doing it in a passive aggressive way.
Right.
He's trying to slide it in so that you.
He's trying. It's a very sneaky way of controlling somebody.
100%.
And it's not very healthy.
Yeah.
Should I be the one to break it to her?
Go ahead, you do it.
Well, it's like, that's, for me, a guy letting me shine and not having that kind of fundamental difference in how we see the world and your talents and, dressing and whatever. It's like, that to me is like a non-negotiable. That would be a deal breaker for me, because it's like, it's just going to keep coming up and you're never going to get, you need someone who sees the world in the same way as you.
What's funny about people like guys, I shouldn't say people because it's only guys. What's funny about guys like, and I'm sure women have done it too, but what's funny about guys like this is that you're probably right. It's a self-esteem thing. They feel like they don't deserve you. And that your shine somehow.
And they see all the likes you're getting when you put up a picture of your body.
And they feel like somehow your shine is going to make them lose you. And by being so insecure about that, they engage in behavior that makes it assured that they will lose you. And that's what he's doing now.
But in a weird way, that's comforting for him because he can go, see, I told you.
100%.
What did I tell you?
100%.
And then in a weird way, he'll end up going, it was her Instagram account. That's why she,
100%.
It'll never be, he'll never put it back on himself.
Yeah. So Meredith, take it from us. We're hearing this, and to you, it's like, oh, he just needs a little bit better self-esteem. What I'm hearing is he's trying to diminish you because he's insecure about what you're doing, and what you're doing is not weird. It's not promiscuous, and even if it was promiscuous, like the job of a partner is never to diminish your partner's shine. That's like the opposite of the job, actually.
Also, you said it yourself.
100%.
You've done this your whole life. Even if this was a thing that you suddenly started doing a couple of months ago, it'd still be okay. But he knew this when he met you.
Right.
You were never hiding this. It was like, this is what I do. This is what I need to exist.
Well, the best thing for you to do is just to say something to him. Like, this is what I've been thinking about. It seems to me like and then say all these cool psychological things that everybody said. But like, no, for real. And kind of say, this is what, when you do those things, that's what it makes me feel, all these things. So if you're not trying to do what it seems like you're trying to do, can you stop with those things? And if he can't, then
that's fair because you're giving him a chance.
And
if he really loves you
Yeah.
and it's really meant to be, he'll come through. But
here's the other thing, Meredith. Both Patton and I are married to women whose life work is showing themselves to other people in a way that is sparkling and dynamic and showing their beauty and showing their talent and showing off themselves and the person they are. And neither of us are going like, a lot of people don't decide to go on camera. We don't do that because we're like, that's awesome. They're doing cool stuff. So it's not normal and you don't deserve it.
Oh, that was so awesome.
I know. And I just recently had another talk with him about it when he made like a little comment. And he goes, yeah, I understand. So, I mean, I'll try to see what the next, like if it comes up again.
And use Meredith as framework because, she kind of told you like, because sometimes having a script, at least for me, is very helpful when you're trying to like fight with someone about something that you kind of know the answer to. So why not just keep repeating somewhat of a script?
That's smart. That's a great way to put it.
I'm hearing something though, Meredith. I just realized it. here's this guy. You're lifelong. Patton nailed it. You've done this your whole life. He knew he was getting involved with a gymnast when he met you, and all of a sudden he's insecure. And maybe it is because he has low self-esteem. Maybe he does have body shame issues, And your response to that is, how can I change myself and fix him? Right? Is like, I'm going to wear bigger T-shirts. I'm going to go to him and get him to work out more. I'm going to do all this stuff. And in fact, I don't know. I could be wrong, but it feels like the response should be like, you don't have the right to, as Meredith said, to control me. Now, we can work on you because I love you and I want you to be happy, but your happiness will never come from me changing myself.
Yes.
Yeah.
Wow.
I feel like he doesn't deserve that, Moshe.
No, I think you're right. I mean,
We'll see. You got to give him a chance.
Yeah.
Give him a chance.
First, say it. Just say those things. It feels to me when you do that that this is how you're trying to make me feel.
Then he'll fail, and then you guys will break up, and then you'll find a secure guy, and it'll be awesome. We kind of all see that, Meredith?
Also, you're young. It's okay.
It's okay.
Yeah, honestly,
okay.
I don't want to sound blasé, but you are young. This is not the beginning or the end of the world.
Of the growing,
this is part of the growing. So
knowing what you deserve.
You will be okay. Trust us.
You're good.
And then make sure that on your next boyfriend, you really look for that quality, especially if it's why you end up leaving him.
Make your next boyfriend do a floor and bar routine for you.
Great idea.
Just see where his center of gravity is, how good he is, and go from there.
And honestly, what we're all trying to say, Meredith, is you should wear skimpier clothes when doing gymnastics.
Yeah, give us your Instagram.
For the women's movement, for yourself, for all.
All right, well, good luck, honey.
Thank you guys
Nice to
so
meet you.
much. It's a pleasure.
Do you want to drop your Instagram? You can. You can show it off. Make him even madder. You don't have to. You also don't have to.
It's like you're trying to end the relationship.
I mean, kind of I am.
And don't look at your likes too much, Meredith.
All right. Bye, Meredith.
You seem cool.
Yeah.
Okay.
Bye.
Bye. I mean, I was trying to end the relationship. The
Yeah.
relationship should end.
Yeah, she shouldn't be going out with the dude. He's got some problems.
But she will feel bad if she doesn't at least give him an opportunity
You're
to
right.
go, you're right.
Natasha was right.
That's how I've been. I'm an idiot. I'm going to change.
Totally.
Thanks for helping me grow.
Yeah, and if it doesn't work, she can, like Natasha, you can go, I did give him a shot,
Right.
though. I didn't.
And then
But the truth is, like, young, I don't know what it's like to be a young woman, but I feel like it's obvious that part of the process of growing up as a young woman is to go, ugh, I don't deserve that. And honestly, part of the process of growing into a young man is I shouldn't act like that anymore.
Yeah.
I need to stop engaging in that kind of behavior.
When I was growing up, I've never been in any kind of shape. I've always had body issues.
What?
But you get to it. I really have not.
Baby.
But you get to a certain age when you realize, I forgot who said this, when you're at the beach, unless you have the best body at the beach or the worst body, no one's looking at you. They don't care.
That's so true.
The range for acceptance is actually way wider than we've been made to believe by advertising, by the media. It's ridiculous.
That is so true, actually. It's this obsession that someone's looking or caring, and it's just never, especially with body stuff, nobody's looking. No one cares.
No one cares.
Yeah, that's good.
They don't.
Moshe, what if we listen to some secrets?
Oh, that's a good idea. I don't think we did this the last time you guys came, but we have. Did we? We have people leave their deep, dark, or not deep, dark secrets on our secrets hotline. And,
I don't remember that.
all right, let's do it.
I would have remembered that. Okay, here we go. Deep, dark secrets.
for that.
I remember
How
actually.
cute was that girl?
She was
She
cute.
was really cute.
She was a perfect combination between Anna Taylor-Joy and Sissy Spacek.
Wow. Yeah.
Totally had that combination down.
She would have definitely gone. Who and who?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. What, Grandpa? Myrna Loy and Theta Barra? Thanks. Why don't you go down to the soda shop and have a phosphate, you friggin' fossil?
See, whenever you do that impression, though, I'm like, I want to be there.
Yeah, right.
Exactly.
It sounds so fun.
Let's go get a celery soda and a tongue sandwich, and we'll read the new photo play. They've got pictures of Ella Raines.
Okay, but doesn't that sound better than staring at your phone?
Right.
Oh, yeah, way better.
Let's go get a Monster Energy drink and scroll TikTok for 4 hours. I'd rather have the celery soda.
I like the celery soda.
Me too.
Oh my god.
Ooh, an egg
Oh, I
cream.
feel so sad for people today.
No, they don't get to have the nice celery sodas and the nice brisket.
And the adventures in alleyways where there are murderers like sharpening knives
yeah,
and
I got held up at gunpoint. I don't know.
Have you really?
Yeah.
Right in front of the King's
Sorry.
Cafe.
Kings Road Cafe.
King's Road Cafe?
I was at the Kings Road Cafe and I was walking back to
In
my
Hollywood,
apartment
West
in
Hollywood.
West Hollywood. I had an apartment right near the Kings Road Cafe. And then am I telling this story?
No,
You
I
can.
want
You don't have to
Oh,
if
you
you
don't
don't.
have
No.
to.
I mean, are we talking too much?
No,
No.
of course not.
Secrets?
I actually, this is like a fear of mine, so I'm interested in. You're a strong woman. So
She's
I'm
terrified of talking too much on a podcast.
Yeah.
Me too.
This might not be the best advice though, because this is very ballsy. What? you
Okay,
did.
yeah, tell us.
But
Well,
yeah.
I was on a date with this guy from England, and they don't have guns and stuff like that in England. Anyway,
Bloody hell.
and it was like 10 o'clock at night, and we were just walking back from having had a coffee at the Kings Road Cafe, and I live a block away, and there's like an alley before you get to my block, and we were just walking by, and this one guy came out of the alley with his hands under his shirt and kind of like looked at my English friend and was like, "Hey man, you have a cigarette?" And then like before anything could happen, he pulled up the gun from under his shirt and pointed it at my friend in his stomach and was like, "Give me your money." And right at that moment, I was like, "Do I run away? Do I throw my purse into the street?"
I wouldn't know.
I didn't. I like it was so fast. And then another one came out and put a gun in my face.
Oh God, scary.
And he goes, "Give me your fucking purse." And I went, "Okay, just let me get my keys though." And I bent down and unzipped my purse and took out my keys. And I was like, "Okay, take it, go!" And I started screaming at him, like, "Get out of here!"
And did he go?
And he did. He ran
I
away.
like that.
Amazing.
Get out of here, you little.
But
You got what you wanted.
Leave me enough for
I
a
was like,
celery
"Go."
soda.
I didn't say get out of here. I just said go.
No, your instinct was scram.
Yeah, I was like,
Scram you.
I took my keys. I was like, "Yeah, you can have my purse. Let me just get my keys, though. My
Just
fucking
the fact
apartment's
that
right
she
there."
went, wait a second, let me
yeah.
get my
I
keys.
know.
Here you go.
And I was
No,
like,
that's
"Okay,
good.
here, now go." That's what I said.
But it worked.
I was like, "Here,
He
now
left.
go."
Yeah.
Yeah.
My-
And then
oh, what did the guy do? Was he crying?
he was, yes, because he was so scared. And meanwhile, he was like a punk rock dude from England. Like he was punk rock.
Bawling?
Oh.
Yeah, he had like tight leather pants. He was like a total punk rock dude. It scared him so bad. We called them bandits.
Uh-huh.
These ruffians came out of an alleyway.
They did. And then I was so ballsy during it. Like, "Let me get my keys. Now you go." I was so like that in charge during it. But then the next day when I was driving back to my apartment, like I started shaking.
Oh, wow.
Like shaking so hard. And then I burst into tears. And I couldn't like go home for a month. I was so scared.
Aw.
Wow.
But
You never been held up?
No.
You never have?
I recommend just saying, "1 second, honey.
Yeah, let me get my keys.
Well, now you would say, "Let me get my phone," right?
Yeah.
I was like, "No,
No,
because
because they'd be like,
phone.
no.
Yeah, that's the first. They
gonna be
want that
keeping
more than
that.
your money.
Yeah, no, they want your money." And
Actually, if they're smart, they go, yeah, grab your phone and, you know what? Unlock it real quick. Check your text messages. Thank you.
oh my God, that's brilliant.
Yeah.
Well, now you just gave all
Yeah, boy.
robbers
A lot
perfect-
of robbers a lot of
Yeah.
muggers listen to the Endless Honeymoon podcast. It's kind of their thing.
You don't know? They hide in plain sight. Do not want to see life. You
All right,
guys.
let's hear some secrets.
Secrets.
Hi, Moshe. Hi, Natasha. I have a secret that happened during Thanksgiving. I was over at my mom's house, and lovely dinner. I was so full, I ended up inevitably passing out on the couch. And I fell asleep. But I have been taking these edibles, and they give me really crazy sex dreams, and I kind of have a female nocturnal emission. I come in my sleep, basically, after I take these things. So I fall asleep on the couch, and I wake up, and my mom is shaking me, and she's saying, like, "Oh," and she was like, "I think you were having a nightmare." And I knew damn well I was not having a nightmare. I was literally orgasming in my sleep. But she was like, "Yeah, you were like crying out for, you were like, oh." And I had to lie to my poor mother. And I said, "Yes, I'm having a terrible nightmare. Oh my God, it was crazy." So anyways, I'm pretty sure my mom saw my O face. And yeah, my mom saw me come, which is not
Hilarious.
That's so gross.
anyways. That's
She's
my
like, you've
secret.
wet the bed as well.
I mean, in the words of our old friend Brody Stevens, enjoy it.
Enjoy it.
And truly enjoy it. And don't let anyone yuck your yum. If
Ew.
if that's what you do, then that's what you do, and your mom's got to deal with it.
It is a
Whatever.
funny idea to like to come and then immediately have your mom shaking your shoulders awake. Like, these two things aren't supposed to go together.
But I didn't
Although
even...
you know that's someone's kink.
Yeah, definitely.
Oh, God.
But wait, I've never heard of a woman being able to do that.
Have a nocturnal emission. I've never heard that either, but I'm sure anything's possible.
Yeah.
I mean, without rubbing up against anything?
Well, I mean,
it's her imagination.
we were
Yeah.
just telling that story.
You can do anything with imagination.
We were just telling that story
Which one?
on the secret dump last week. I mean, this is a very vulgar story. I don't know if are you guys.
I mean, I told you
come
my, tried to be a waitress for 2 hours story.
Well, I was saying
Tell me.
there was
If you're going to get vulgar.
when I was single, I met a woman on the internet, and what she wanted was to be verbally abused, and she was like, "I have no limits. Make it as hardcore as you can."
Oh, no. How
Like-
do you do? God.
Oh, Moshe, please don't tell us again.
Okay, you guys
did.
comfortable with me stopping now, or do you want me to finish the story? I mean, come on,
mean,
they want to know it. Anyway, here's the point. So it was happening, and I was doing it, and I'm good at crowd work, so I was really killing it. And she stopped. I wasn't touching her. I was just doing the.
Oh my God, and she actually.
And she stopped, and she
No
was doing
way.
stuff to me. She stopped. I go, "Are you okay? Oh my God, did I go too far? I'm so sorry." And she goes, "No, I came." And I hadn't even touched her. So yeah, there's possible, as we used to call it, the mind jack. It's possible to
Mind jack.
it's possible
Like
to
low jack, mind jack.
to just have an orgasm with no stimulation.
Mind. That's like
Hot.
when
I mean-
Beethoven was playing.
That's your Lifetime movie, man. Berated to climax.
berated to climax.
All right, one more. Let's do another secret.
Yeah.
Hi, Natasha and Moshe. I don't know if this is necessarily a secret, but just me being petty. I live in a state where pot is legal and was smoking it in my backyard at 11 o'clock at night when everybody in the house is asleep. And apparently my neighbor smelled it. And we live in a neighborhood, like a suburban neighborhood. So plenty of space in between houses. But he came out of his house with a flashlight and walked into the middle of his yard, pointed the flashlight towards our fence and coughed really loud, then walked back in his house. So ever since then, I go to our property line and I smoke there for a little bit. Go towards the house. Just to be petty. Thanks. Love you guys.
Okay, first up, that wasn't a secret. That was a brag. That's awesome. That's friggin' awesome. Good for you.
I thought it was going to go a different way. That was
Yeah,
awesome.
yeah, it was amazing.
I want to be like that. I feel like my instinct, if a neighbor's mad at me, is to like try to make amends.
Yeah,
Totally.
I'd be
well,
so
yeah,
freaked
you
out.
have to because
Yeah.
they're neighbors.
But what is this
You're stuck with
instinct?
them.
She's like, oh, I'm
Fuck
going
you.
to.
Yeah.
she
I
was
do
high
think
when she did it.
I do think that in this political moment, it's a much bigger abrogation of the social contract to cough towards someo's house than to smoke pot towards someone's house.
Oh,
right?
God, I didn't
absolutely.
even think
Way
about
worse.
that.
That's right.
Coughing
dare-
is like it's like fake threatening murder.
Yes,
Basically.
that's
not a
right. Yeah.
I was being petty the other day. I was in line it was like the first time I'd kind of been into a grocery store I didn't even wear a mask. It was like a small little place. I was like, okay, we're back to life. And I was like waiting in line, and then it was my turn, and this like older man, he was like probably 65, like just cut in front of me with his 2 items. And I go, excuse me, I was next. And he was like, well, you should know. And then he,
I don't get it.
I don't
either.
get it either. But then I
She
went.
thought it was like a Karen thing, maybe.
Like I'm like, excuse me, sir, I'm
Right.
next. But he like literally stepped right in front of me, and like as a woman, I just am in the habit of like trying to stick up for myself.
Right.
And
Right. Oh,
I'm
yeah.
a small person, so I'm always like, put him up, you know, like. so yeah, like. But then I'm like, this guy could have a gun. He could be crazy. Like these are such weird times. Like I just don't want to like be mad at people
You gotta
right
get-
now.
So what happened after that?
I went in front of him, and he kind of growled and was
Oh.
annoyed at me.
I
and
think this
he
is
was
a
not
win.
handicapped or anything. He seemed like a young 65, whatever. But
Right.
I think it's a win. You just taught a guy like, hey, don't step on my toes.
no,
How are
I'm
we
mad because I don't want to get myself. I don't want to get into a conflict with anyone
Right,
in
right,
public.
right.
And
Yeah.
I'm like, this instinct I have to be like, hey, dude, I want
Right.
to like quell that.
You know what? I think that you probably in the back of your mind know that situation was not going to turn into some sort of
Probably you're right.
confrontational situation. And I think you'd be smart enough and aware enough to know that where to not do that.
No, you're
you
right.
never know anymore, maybe.
One time I was on the Bay Bridge.
Right. Well, you're right. You're right.
I was once driving from Oakland to San Francisco on the Bay Bridge, and this guy's pulled up on me. This car cut me off, and I pulled around. I rolled up. I rolled my window down. They rolled their window down. It was like 4, like just huge kind of gangster-looking dudes, and I was like, no disrespect, but I wanted to. I mean, I truly was like, I was ready to go, and then the minute my brain, you're exactly right. My primal brain was like, oh no, we will not be.
Right, you got it. But did we tell you about the burglar? Not the burglar. Did we tell you about the dude in our backyard? We did, right?
No.
I took a pink bat and I almost killed him.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
this is like your thing.
Right.
You're like a badass. Wait, I didn't know you were a crime fighter. Well, you don't need to wait tables to understand what real life is about. You're a crime fighter.
Right. So I didn't know what I was coming into in that situation. Right. That dude was in our backyard and he could have been.
That was pure instinct.
I was just like, there's a dude in our
It was just
backyard. I'm
mama
going
bear
out there
stuff.
with a
Right.
baseball bat. But what if he had a gun?
Yeah.
What if he was like a total rapist? What if? Who knew?
Yeah, they say there's tons of people in prison right now that are just like slapping their foreheads, going like, why did I react that way at that time? Like there's so many people that acted on instinct.
Right.
And did an unforgivable thing, and then vice versa. So many people that are become victims because they made a choice and it was the wrong choice.
It's always that split second. It's just like life is so precarious.
That's why I was so interested in what you did in that split second, because you never know what you could do, because you have to read every single part of the situation.
You have to feel the whole thing in your soul.
Yeah.
And you can still make a mistake.
I'm the opposite. I'm conflict. I'm ready in a bad way, in a very bad way. I like always want to fight. The moment I see a perceived disrespect, I'm already in the conflict before my brain has had the opportunity to say, don't do that. This is not worth it. You could die. I'm doing it.
Definitely has happened on planes when I'm with Moshe.
Yeah.
Oh, no. Well,
It's happened at a Comedians of Comedy show, actually.
What?
Yeah, I was in the back and Howard Kramer was on. I remember. And this guy was heckling and talking shit. And I just started I threatened, he had a cane and I threatened to beat him with his cane.
Wow.
I remember that. It was a really bad time in my life.
There was a girl that heckled you. An old lady that heckled you.
Oh, yeah. What do you do when he gets heckled?
And somebody, it was like his show. It wasn't like one of those shows where like a million comedians do 10 minutes. It was Patton's show. And this woman was in the audience and Patton comes out. He's so fucking charming and adorable. And this woman, like, he says one thing and the woman goes, next.
It's crazy.
And I'm like, what the? And I'm backstage, but I hear it. And then like he does more, and then she goes next. And then he says something to her, but I can't take it. I'm gonna fucking murder her. So I come out to like the audience to just see who is yelling next at my husband. And it's this really drunk old lady, like she's like.
It is so funny to
and
next.
I wanted to. I just.
Did you say anything?
No, but I gave her the stink eye really bad.
Did it work?
No,
I felt really bad for it. Was someone.
I
who,
really gave her the stink eye.
It's like someone who knew what heckling was, but they didn't really know how to use it. So she waited. I did like 10 minutes, won the crowd over, and then you don't. Once the guy is, you can't just.
It's
go,
already in the pocket.
But she'd heard it said before. She goes, "Here's my chance."
No, she
and
said
the whole
next,
audience
and
is.
you're like, next what? You're like, next comedian. You're like, I'm the
No,
only.
this is it.
comedian.
That's what's funny to me is to
It's
go to
my
a
show.
to go to a
There's-
Patton Oswalt theater show that you've ostensibly paid a pretty good amount to get a
Exactly,
ticket and then go next. Like no, you do that at the open mic. You know?
Right. But I was like Rip Taylor. I'm like, this is it, honey. That's all you're getting.
Oh God. I got nexted in Ireland on a showcase show, and I was bombing, and it was the worst. Because when you're not
Wow.
doing well, next there isn't a response.
Also,
But
the
response could be-
Irish are amazing hecklers.
Yeah, that's true.
God, they're so good.
Your response could have been like, okay, I'm having a bad set. You're right. I'll leave.
I remember what I said. I said, I hope you die next. That's what I said.
You did not.
I did. I was just so I was having the worst string of shows in my career.
Wow.
It sprung. I got 2 10-minute bits out of one trip to Ireland, but that's how bad it was. But yes, I remember that so well. It was just
Were you afraid the bookers would think that was kind of sad? Or?
I was not thinking. I was at that point. Wait, what did I want to
Pure
come back?
survival at
I
that
would have
point,
come
right?
back to
Yeah.
Kilkenny. No,
Yeah.
I would.
Were you at the Kilkenny Festival?
Yeah, it was the worst.
Oh, I love that. Oh my God.
Well,
probably had a
Patton, you
good
know what? We
experience.
all have different skill sets, you know. Actually,
I was in Dublin. I opened up for Amy Mann and Michael Penn, and
They're not comedians, they're singers.
I think they know.
I'm telling the listeners.
Yeah, thanks for the footnote. Amy Mann, the comedian, or who? And they have a massive following, so they kept getting all these encores. And they don't like to do banter between their songs, so that the comedian does the in-between song banter, and we can say whatever we want.
wow, that's cool.
Like, I wrote this next song. I was in a really dark place. It's just some love song. But they got like 8 encores. So every time I went up, someone would hand me a Guinness. And so I drank like 11 Guinnesses during the space of this
Love
show.
that.
And I went up at the end, and someone hands me a Guinness, and I go, "This is my 11th Guinness of the evening." And the guy in the crowd went, "Pussy!" Which was just, mwah. That's how great the Irish are.
That is
at heckling.
perfect. That is a perfect heckle. Laura, do we have one more secret that you wanted to play, or was that the last one?
No, let's do one more because it's almost 7. We have to.
Oh, okay, yeah.
only have
Oh,
an
we're
hour.
not doing another call. Okay, got it. Yeah, let's
Okay.
play one more secret and take it home.
Let's go.
Hi guys, big fan of the show.
Okay.
My secret is that every time I quit a job, I tell a big lie about why I can't come back. It all started when I worked at Walmart, and I was so fucking sick of working there that one day I just didn't show up, and my boss texted me asking where I was. So I told her that I pooped my pants in the parking lot, and that I was cleaning myself up, and then I would show up, I would come in, and I just never did. And then I was also writing articles for this website, and I decided I wasn't getting paid enough, and I didn't like it anymore. So I texted or emailed my editor and told him that because I was sitting at my desk all the time writing articles, that I got a blood clot in my leg, and it had
Dear Lord.
to be amputated.
So it had to be amputated? Okay.
And the most recent one I did was at this restaurant, and I told them that I sold a show to Netflix, and that I was I no longer needed to work there because I had a lot of money. And my coworkers were like so happy for me, and they're like hugging me and like crying and telling me that like I finally did it, that I got my big break. But really, I didn't sell a show to Netflix. So that's my secret.
I think his secret is he lies.
Yeah.
I don't believe him. I don't believe
I was about to say,
anything
I don't
he
believe
said.
any of those stories. I'm
think
sorry.
The secret is
like-
you secretly lie.
Yeah.
He's like, and then I was working at Walmart.
I told her I pooped my pants.
He's like Meredith at her waitressing jobs. She's like, it's just an experiment. He doesn't really need these jobs.
Yeah.
I'll just go.
It's like my
I don't
latest
think
job is
any-
leaving a secret on this podcast.
Especially,
And
like, I think that's what I think he's one of these like I just like to tell lies. I don't
Oh
think
my gosh.
any of this happened.
He has a whole life
And
ahead
the
of
weird
him of
little-
some
that-
weird. He
the weird
needs
little
to be-
pauses and giggles were what gave it away when he was like, and they're so happy for me. And then I'd like he can barely contain his own glee.
oh, that's funny.
Yeah.
I mean, I like the idea of not caring.
But,
Yeah.
but he just goes around and gets jobs and then quits for no.
Yeah,
like
I don't-
I'm just gonna quit because why? Oh, because it was boring.
Wait,
Right.
Meredith, how did you quit? You never told us. How'd you get out of it? You just didn't come the next day?
What, you mean the waitress thing?
Yeah.
No, right then I was like, I can't do it. And
And
she's like,
you wa-
you
oh,
jello
you
shot
jello-
girl.
Oh, and then you
And
did
then-
that fully and didn't
And then
have to
summer
quit.
ended, man. I went back to Harvard.
You saw the
Did you
Cameron.
really go to Harvard?
I really, really did.
You saw the Cameron Crowe movie that they made about that Jello Shot Summer. You remember
yeah,
that?
well, there's a double feature
Oh, yeah, it
with
was
Jello
amazing.
Shot Summer and Degraded to Climax. Is that what it was called?
Degraded to Climax.
Wait, Meredith, that's not for acting though. What was your major?
Psychology.
Wow.
Oh, that was like the thing that all the hot girls did.
Psychology.
They were like, I'm a psychology major.
Yeah, but it's a little different. You can't do the
At
dumb girl
Harvard?
voice at Harvard. I'm a psychology major.
What are you
Where? Harvard.
Like people be like, "Do you go here?" I'm like, "Yeah." They're like, "You don't
Yeah.
look like you go here."
Like I'm like doing like the brain and like how it works. It's so fucked up.
So fucked
What's
up.
the name for like the brain? When you study the brain, is it? It's got all these syllables. Ugh.
Anyway, I'm like interning for, I guess, the U.S. Supreme Court or whatever this year. This is Harvard after
It's
all.
totally legally blonde. That's legally
It
blonde.
is. Yeah.
Okay, well.
You guys, this was like the funnest hour we've
God,
had
this
all
was
day.
so
you
great.
guys.
Yeah. Yeah, we could do
Can
this.
we come back in a little bit? Like
Yeah.
just
Oh,
like,
wait.
like a couple months.
Oh.
I wanted you to tell us about your podcast.
Oh, your podcast,
before you
yeah.
leave.
Oh, God.
Oh my.
And your tour and whatever
Wow.
else you want to talk
tell
about.
us, Patton.
Well, our podcast is called Did You Get My Text? And basically, it's Meredith and I. We live in a house together. We text each other all day. It's us deciphering our texts, going over the things. Look at this weird article
I
I
don't see
saw.
him for so long. He's
Yeah.
like downstairs and I'm upstairs.
crazy.
Do you
We
guys
just-
have really good discipline about working separately
Yes.
from each
Yeah,
other?
yeah,
That's
'cause
good.
We
do
don't
work
ever
all
see
day.
each other.
Yeah, that's good.
The reason why we have the podcast is so we can actually like reconvene after a week of texting.
Our offices are one. Our
for 1 week.
offices are our attic. On one end is my office, and so
Yeah.
we're kind of
Oh,
there,
you're in
but
the
we don't
same
see each.
room.
No, it's not the same room. We have separate rooms, but it's definitely the same. It's not.
Ours is by level.
Yeah, that's smart.
There you
That's
go.
smart.
Big
No
difference.
distraction.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll be doing yoga, and then Moshe comes in. He wants to fuck. You know, it's like
Typical office environment.
Well, the other day I said I wanted to fuck, and she said she had shit her pants and had a blood clot, and so I guess that she
Shut.
wasn't. No, it's from the guy before.
Ew.
It's from the guy.
You sold a Netflix show also.
Yeah.
Times.
Honey, I would totally fuck you, but I sold the Netflix show, and the pitch.
I'm so happy for you.
The pitch meeting dried me up. I have to. I'm sorry, but talking to these Netflix people is a nightmare.
Anyway, the good news is that Shitty Blood Clot is going to be on Netflix.
Blood clot.
also. Oh yeah. So also make sure to check out your movie.
Oh,
Oh,
yeah.
yeah.
When
Well,
I love my
it's
dad.
uncheckoutable, right?
It's uncheckoutable right now. Because we're getting distribution.
Somebody's
We're
gonna buy
find
that
out-
by
yeah,
a bulk.
someone
Doing
will
the
buy that
festival
by
Nice.
thing.
So
and
We're
it
doing a
won.
festival thing.
Cool.
I was at South by Southwest also, but feel free not to say anything about
Wait,
it.
I want
No,
to hear.
tell us. Yeah, tell us
How'd
everything.
that go?
Fuck you.
Did you win as many awards?
Yeah.
Listen, I'll tell you the award I won.
Yeah.
I've never been to South by Southwest
Best wife.
except as a comedian.
I am the best wife.
Yeah.
Number one.
Well, didn't South by Southwest, isn't the movies the last thing that came there? It was music first.
Oh, you're
Right.
right.
Then comedy,
the
and they
movies
just
are
added- yeah.
I didn't even realize they had stuff there.
Yeah.
So tell us what you did, Meredith.
I did a movie with Rita Moreno called The Prank.
Ooh, cool.
Amazing.
Rita Moreno, people.
Amazing.
She was friends with Stephen Sondheim.
I mean, she slept with Elvis and Brando. I
That
mean,
is
come
pretty
on.
cool.
She cheated on Brando with Elvis to make Brando jealous, and then
Thought
realized
Elvis wasn't that
Elvis
good
was
in
a
bed.
dud, and was like, "Oh God, I got to get out of this relationship because this isn't working for me."
Whoa.
Like that's a typical week in her life.
Wow.
That was fun filming with her because then, like, in between shots.
Oh, you got stories?
We just talked about boyfriends.
Oh, that's amazing.
yeah.
Oh, that's so
Crazy
good.
boyfriends.
What's it's called? Say it again.
The Prank.
And how can people watch that? Not yet. Also,
Because that
getting
was also at a
distribution.
festival.
Yeah,
got
also
it.
trying to get
All right.
distribution.
So we'll see you all very
And
soon.
come back soon. Yeah.
Come swim.
Leave your
Let's
worries
like
behind.
wait a couple months and just come back.
I
I don't
would
want to
love
wear
Why
out
do we
our
have to
welcome
wait a
here
couple months?
No.
because I don't want to wear out our welcome.
You guys can
can't.
move in. We have an apartment.
She has that cute little.
This was really, honestly, guys.
You
this
guys
was
are the
really
most fun
fun
ever.
and
Oh.
we will totally come back
You just
whenever you.
fixed our entire
if
relationship.
anyone, if
We haven't laughed in a
We
really
didn't
long
say
time.
anything. Oh, just from laughing.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Because
good.
I suddenly I was sitting over here, and by the end, I'm like holding his hand.
Aw,
and I'm,
that's so
like,
sweet.
Like this. And
I
like,
love that.
Now
if
we
Steve
like each
Agee
other.
flakes on you, we will be here in a second.
It's so
Steve
funny. We just
Agee.
mentioned the fact that we hadn't had him on. By the way, you guys have a 13-year-old?
Yeah.
So you can come over and
She's
babysit. You guys really
13?
can move it.
we could.
It's
bring
such
you
a delight to have
Thank
you.
guys. Seriously, thank you. This was awesome.
Oh, it was
Thank
so
you
great
guys
for
so
us,
much.
too. Thank
Yeah.
you.